So let's dig into some news from the week. The first is, as Michael Fisher commented on Twitter, sigh. It's a big sigh.
Yeah, it's just
Pixel Fold news.
It's one of those. It's like, yeah, kind of saw it coming, but still, such a letdown.
Yeah, this one it was a little bit of a bummer, but I totally was not shocked or surprised by this because
When it didn't get any sort of tease at I/O, I mean, they teased a tablet that's coming out in 2023.
Exactly,
And they made no mention of the Fold, and so we figured it was going to be delayed. Are they just saying delayed at this point, or
it's
is
postponed?
So what's it? Obviously, there's been a couple years of development at this point, if not more.
Yeah.
Why not just? We know that Tensor 2 is coming in the fall. Why not just move to Tensor 2 and go ahead and do a spring release of the Fold?
That's my guess. Is that's probably part
Don't
of
do
this.
it with the 7. I wouldn't do it with the 7.
I think
I'm not a marketer, but
the issue probably was it had gotten so long in the tooth because the interesting part about this particular report is not chip shortages or supply chain issues, the stuff that we normally hear with this. It's that Google is looking at the product they have right now and they're not happy with it.
Right.
Yeah.
If that's true, and good on them.
I'm cool with that.
Because Google has a tendency to be like, yeah, just ship it. Straight up from Elf. It's like, I don't know who's going to know.
Which is crazy when you look at the fact that they are the
just ship
company
it.
that
Just
made the Pixel Book Go.
Yeah.
what does he say? My niece is wondering what happened to
Between
the
a
pigeon.
certain bird or a certain boy and a certain pigeon or dog and a certain whatever. He's like, I don't know. Copy editors. Our printers must be getting sloppy. He's like,
Is that your signature right there?
It's
Such a good movie.
But yeah, before that, when he's just like, between a puppy and a pigeon, ship it. Yeah, I got an idea. Let's take a $30,000
We need to throw that clip in there for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if it is true that they looked at it and said, "Hey, this isn't ready,"
Yeah, it's the right move.
That's
Like,
awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, they've got good products in the pipeline. We've got, you've got the Pixel 6a coming out. You've got the Pixel 6s that are finally, I feel like, shaking off all the bugs.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
Glad yours has. No.
The Pixel 6 Pro that I've been using for the last week and a half. I've just been loving using it. And so I think they're in a good spot there. 6A is coming. They've already shown us the Pixel 7, so I feel like they feel pretty confident about it. Hopefully they've worked out a lot of the kinks with the Tensor 2 or Gen 2 or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah.
If the Pixel Buds Pro are a hit, you'll have 3 products from Google this year that should all be, because I mean the UK and US top 5 for the Pixel 6 line.
I don't know about UK, but US.
I thought UK was the original article I saw. I'll go back and check.
Yeah, the article was number 5. Pixel is the number 5 brand of smartphone now,
which is insane.
It
Android
is.
smartphone.
All.
That's right. Because it does.
Yeah. And what's more interesting is the fact that the 2 in front of them now. So they had 400% year-over-year growth in quarter 1 of 2022. Canalys reported 400% growth. So that's a low bar. You got to remember. So people get excited about those kind of big numbers, but that's
a percentage of us.
200,000 shipped in Q1 of 2022 or 2021, up to 1.2 million in 2022. Jeez. 2022, 2020.
2022.
Another great movie there.
Yeah. If you get that reference,
good on you.
I can't say any more of what goes around it. It's all bad. Anywho, so 400% growth, regardless, is always cool. I mean, that's still big growth, and to go from not even coming close to 1 million phones shipped in a quarter to over 1 million, that's great growth as well. But it puts them in 5th place behind, obviously, Apple at number 1, Samsung, Motorola, then TCL, then Google. But they're nipping in the heels of TCL and Motorola. Yeah. So,
which I'm surprised because, what is it? Is it Alcatel or Alta? Those types of Blue is another one. They're not like household names, but they're pretty much free. I mean, you would think that the masses would have those, but it just shows that, like with Chromebooks, that mid-range it's not the ultra premium, but it's not the dirt cheap either. Right. It's the solid mid-range phones that are the popular ones.
Yeah,
for sure.
And so, we add the Pixel 6a into that mix, because the 5a, you got to remember, it was only on sale in 2 markets, so they never really pushed it. And the 6a is going out to 13 markets, including India. Again, these are North American numbers, so we don't want to read too much into other markets, but it just shows that they have the volume there. They're able to ship this phone and hopefully market it as well. And then you've got the upcoming Pixel 7 launch. There's enough going on in the Pixel land. I could see in the next 2 or 3 quarters them overtaking both TCL and Motorola, and then they move to the number 3 spot. And that sounds a lot better to me. To me, that's the spot you want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're especially if you're a baby hardware company like Google, if your only competition that you're aiming for is Samsung and Apple, let's be honest, you've made it. Right, you have.
Yeah, and they've made the dent they need to make, especially over the years that they've been doing this. I mean, the first year you probably call it a wash because people are like, are they going to stick with this? And then Pixel 2 had some problems, and it's like and then Pixel 3 was the most leaked phone ever in the history. And then you move into Pixel 4 and then COVID, and it's like, that's a rocky start for a brand that's trying to compete with Samsung and Galaxy and Apple and iPhone and all that stuff. And so you got to cut up some slack there. But when you start looking at the numbers like this, they're not going to see that much growth. I could see them easily shipping, that 1.2 million number moving up to 2, 2.5, 3 within the next year.
Not only that, you're adding another. If and when the Fold comes out, you're adding a 4th phone, because you have a base, a Pro, an A model, and then a foldable. It's like you said, it's not going to be that 400% growth, but it's going to continue to be an upward trajectory.
Right, and if they keep doing that, then they take over those other guys. But think about the numbers here. It's 1.2 million right now. Like, cool. They're finally. It feels like they're catching a little bit. Samsung, I want to say only, but they're at 10 million. 1.2 to 10 million isn't like an impossible gap.
Yeah.
And you got to think, as they start shipping more Pixels, Samsung's going to ship less Galaxies. That's just the way it works. Like, almost share, everybody has them. Now it's about market share and balancing those things. Are you going to catch Apple? Probably not anytime soon.
No. How many did Apple ship?
20. So twice as many as Samsung. And so you're not going to go catch either one of those companies fast, but it feels like it's in the realm of reality that they could eventually catch up to Samsung in 5 years or something. And I mean, that's a huge deal, because Samsung's not some joke of a company that just doesn't put much effort into their phones. Like, they put a ton of money into marketing. They put a ton of money in innovation. They push the industry forward in so many different ways. And so if Google's even in the conversation with Samsung, to me, I think they've won, and they've put themselves in a good place.
And I think to kind of piggyback off what Gabriel was saying about the Fold, if they add the Fold into that mix, they're introducing that kind of super techie thing that for those folks. They have the cheaper phone in the A series. They've got their flagship phone. They now have this full kind of spread like Samsung.
Because you think about it, most people I know have zero interest in buying a Galaxy Fold or a Galaxy Flip.
Yeah.
Zero interest in it. But they know what it is.
Yeah.
They know Samsung, and Samsung markets it, and its attention, and its marketing.
And they might see them out and about and be like, oh, whoa, what's that? And there's that little intrigue that's there too. But it's funny, I mean, all of this that you just kind of went through, all of this, very rocky road that Google has been on, for them to maybe take a step back and say, hey, I don't think this Fold is ready. We've got a lot of other...
stuff that's like, we're moving forward in this industry already. We don't need to go and take this wild Hail Mary.
Right. Like, why take that sort of risk?
Because you put out a Pixel Fold that's janky, that has a bad hinge on it. It's going to
be bad press.
Screens are cracking all the time. You're taking the name Pixel now and you're putting it with a bunch of bad stuff. Right. And so and it's they get to the point where they don't need to be doing that
it's anymore. What we've talked about with the Pixel phones and with the Pixel Buds. Google needs to do that. They need to take a step back, and we need to say, okay, what do we need to do to refine what we have and release hardware that's not buggy and focus more on something that's just solid instead of, the next feature drops are great and having exclusive features is awesome. but don't let that be the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on solid hardware.